Friday, and it is the 3rd of June, Friday, June 3rd of June, and it is at 2, a little after 2. We had some technical difficulties on my part, sorry. Restream, kind of funky, some channels dropping and then restarting and bringing on as an event. These are all things that you will learn about because we're going to be teaching people how to create a show. LinkTank is a show. It's like it's like the Tonight Show, except that's every night. That's Tonight Show. Right down with it's LinkTank. We're Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. Correct?
You bet. If it's Tuesday or Friday at 2 p.m., we're here with LinkTank, and we're here for you. And we really work very hard, think a lot to come up with actionable strategies and activities that you can leave right from this show, go right back to LinkedIn, start using them, start becoming a believer. And I think that's the first step. So today we were thinking about, which is really a common thread, no matter at what level, to master.
Oh, you like that? That was
Yeah,
weird.
little jazzy stuff. You never know what
Yeah.
you're going to get on LinkTank. That's why you got to keep tuned.
You
So
never know.
yeah, so basically we're looking at, who is your primary target audience, and when you're doing outbound, how do you identify, and then how do you aggregate and then communicate with that group? And it's usually you look for them, or they have already found you and you need to rediscover them to get back in touch with them. So Mike, you're an expert on
Well,
outbound.
you're an expert. You're an expert. So here it is. The bottom line that Don just gave it to you. I don't know if you were getting it because it was so subtle. It's either someone's finding you or you're finding them. That's how the world works. Think about everything. With every different types of business, every different type of channel. Either someone's finding you or you're finding them. Think about when you were way back when you were dating, right? Look at the dating apps. Either they're finding you or you're finding them. Some of them are rigged up so the guys can't do the hunting. They just got to sit back and the girls get to do the hunting. Some it can be both ways, but it's either they're finding you or you're finding them. That's genius. So we have got methodologies to turn that genius concept into sales. And that's pretty important, right? Don and I are business guys. We built a bunch of different businesses. So this isn't some la 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 la. I'm going to show you how to sing and dance. Because Don and I don't know about you, Don. Do you sing and dance?
Not very well.
Not very well. I'm in the same camp. And it's not going to be like we're going to be walking around in front of our house showing you pictures of our rented mansions or rented Ferraris saying, oh, you should be as rich as us. But just we're not going to tell you what to do. We're not going to do any of that either. What we're going to tell you is, look, we're business guys. We've been in business for 30, 40, 50 years and built a bunch of business. We're taking old school, as Don likes to say, strategies and tactics and methodologies that worked in every medium and now rolling it through into LinkedIn. So either someone's finding you or you're finding them. So how do you do or operate on LinkedIn? And we're going to address both of those today. And Don, just give everyone what our promise is. I always like to hit them with our promise, and then let's get into one example of each of those.
Yeah, our promise and our obligation and commitment is for you to have one quality takeaway that's real. To what Mike's saying, it's not philosophy. We're sharing what we do, how we do it every day, right? So if you follow what we're doing, and we and if you were to talk to us a year or two ago, we'd be doing something different then. We evolve. And as we
Every day.
evolve, every conversation almost. So with that said, I think the common challenge people have is they're more attuned to people reaching out to them than they are reaching out to someone else. And in the corporate world and the real world, people usually make appointments, come to your office, meet you for coffee. In some ways you feel respected. When you have to go out and start making calls to people, and setting up things. Then you feel maybe you're stupid, maybe not. Here's the point is while you're waiting for someone to find you, find them. I mean, it's so simple, and find a lot of them. You know what I mean? While you're waiting for one or two, you got a chance to hunt for 15 or 20. And here's where another challenge comes in. People look at the response to their post and then use that as a lead generation. Now, if you only got one like and two comments from your friends, you got nowhere to go. Now, if you were to look on who viewed your profile, right? And all of a sudden you got a lot of people that didn't read your stuff, may not read your stuff, but they're interested in you for some reason, right? That's it. That's an opportunity. The people who want to connect with you. And more importantly, the people you've already connected to. People keep hunting when they got a warehouse full of what they just hunted, right? Why not take inventory and go through it? You know, and here's another thing. It costs you nothing to send a message to somebody. Now, how many messages would you want to send? 10, 20? How long does it take? A minute? Do you have 20 minutes out of your day, 20 minutes out of your real busy day that you're waiting for someone to contact you and offer you an opportunity to send out 20 invitations to say, I'd like to talk? And then, you know, again, to Mike's point, there's strategies, there's communication opportunities. This is not simple, but it is easy if you know what to do. So that's kind of a little contradiction. So anyways, with that said, Mike, you want to share a screen and kind of illustrate what we're talking about?
Yes. So let's go to the screen sharing. Let me get us set up here. So we specifically want to cover somebody's checking you. And I think you are awesome at that. Somebody's checking out you. And then what do you do? So do you want me to share your screen and then you can just show us, or you want to share your screen? You want to drive? How do you want to roll?
Either way. So if you want me to do it, I guess I might as well share my screen. So
Go
let me
for
make
it.
sure I'm where I need to be. Okay. So to share my screen and Chrome tab. Okay. So can everybody see this?
Let me hit that button on. Yes. So everyone is now seeing this. Yep. Perfect.
So basically, we talked about this yesterday, me and Mike. So let's say we go to profile views, right? And that's what we're talking. So this is, and it gives you great analytics. This shows you the profile views over the last 90 days, and you could take it for different times. But if you look, these are the people who have looked at my profile. Some are first connections, probably most are. But all of these people had an interest in me. And therefore, it's very easy for me to come back and say, thank you for, viewing my profile. I see that we have a lot in common. I'd be happy to have a call or whatever you use for that. And I think that's
So let me
really
just stop for a second. Let me just stop for a second because I want to break this down. So what we're saying is there's easy wins of this is going either you're checking them out or they're checking you out. So we're saying go to who's viewed your profile. They're checking you out. So LinkedIn's telling they're checking you out. There's a bunch of different new technology. This whole thing just changed. It keeps moving. It's crazy what they're doing to help us. They have AI in there to help us. But in any case, what you're looking to do is find an ideal customer. That's really the key. When someone's checking you out, and you should have a lot of them, and Don and I have a lot of them because we're active, and yours will grow. It will absolutely grow because LinkedIn will appreciate what you're doing, and they're going to show you to more people. That's their business model. So that's number one. Then you got to go through and find ideal customer because you don't want to be sending messages to people that aren't an ideal customer. And when you find an ideal customer, what Don does so beautifully, because they checked you out, they're checking out Don. So Don's going to say, now break that down again, Don.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I just noticed myself, all this here was in the last 7 minutes, right? So there's constant people coming and going, looking at what I'm doing. Here's Mike, but and it just keeps going. This is just from 2 hours ago.
Look at
So
that. Yeah, go to that. Scroll down to that one that's right below me. That Josh Snelling's, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is now, and also here's one thing that is very true that Don said just a minute ago that everyone needs to really focus on, and that is work so hard. And I don't know if it's maybe just a a vanity thing to accumulate followers and first connections. And the reality is that most of us are guilty, me included, of not actually communicating effectively with the people that we're accumulating, who are ideal. Now, my good friend, he is a good, I consider him a good friend. I don't know if he considers me a good friend. Joshua B. Lee, who way back in the world, back 3 some odd years ago when I first started, he spent a lot of time with me to talk about LinkedIn. And he runs an entire business. He's a master at working with very big thought leaders. And he helps them focus exclusively on how do you communicate with your existing
Mm-hmm.
list, and then how do you start to nurture that list. Now this makes sense, because if you build an email list, you don't build an email list and then not email people. You build an email list and then you should be sending out a couple emails a week. So here we are, we're working hard, LinkedIn's working hard for us, we're getting more followers, we're getting more connections, and then we're guilty of not really working the list. So here's someone that is here. Don, I don't know, John Snellings. He's the first connection. He's a
Yeah,
CEO.
and actually, just by bringing him up, which would have never happened if we weren't having this discussion, I mean, he's pretty significant. I mean, he's the co-founder and CEO of PeerSource, a 5-time Inc. 5000 fastest growing company in Denver and Orlando. And it just goes on and on and on. And what me and Mike have been really good at is seeing what their activity is, right? And based on their activity, we know how their performance on LinkedIn is. So if you go to their post, and all of a sudden the last post he did was a month ago and got 16 likes and 3 comments. Before that was 2 months ago. 17 likes.
Once a month he's posting. Yet 5 minutes ago he checked out Don. It's probably because we went live, which is good. That means the activity is working. But if you go back also, Don, to where it says activity and then post, pick the other one, activity, because
Okay.
maybe
So,
he's once a month he's posting, but multiple times a day he's sharing or commenting. Um, so you just want to be able to identify ideal customer, and okay, they're on LinkedIn. In this particular case, if you're hunting them, then you got to do more of that work. But he's hunting Don, and we know that he was just on LinkedIn because he was just on LinkedIn checking out Don. So the opportunity for Don is to go ahead now and like take all his wisdom about messaging, connection, how to turn a view into a conversation, into a potential appointment to see if potentially John needs help. So, Don, what do you think about taking the next step?
here it's perfect. I'm an ex or former 3-time Inc. 500 CEO, not Inc. 5000. When it came out, it was just 500 in the country, and they made it 5,000. I have that in common with them. But what it tells me, he's got a fantastic business that's made the roster 5 years in a row, which is hard because it takes so much growth to keep staying in the game. And he's not doing anything with LinkedIn, right? So he's got a business with a definite tailwind, and we're in Denver together, right? So I'm saying, hey, we're in Denver. we're former Inc. 500 alumni, and you're just knocking it out of the park. And I have an opening, right? That you could complement what you have with a LinkedIn, supercharger. Are you interested? To me, it's all on the table. It's like, it's what he needs. It's what I want to work with, because I'm particular. I want to work with people who are on the move, people that are going to teach me something, and people are going to make my relationship more stimulating and make the rest of my life better. So I'm saying he's a perfect candidate. If you said, hey, could you find 5 Johns a day? How about 20? How about 50? And you know why? I get 200-300 likes every post. That's 200-300 people to find those 5 or 10. I get comments, but here's one more thing that you really have to keep in mind. I've been doing this every day for 30 months. That's almost 900 days straight, posting every day, commenting, participating, being a great citizen. You become respected. And when you add that to a great background with a great profile and great foundation, who's going to say no? If not me, what are you waiting for? Right?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And so many of these building blocks that come together. It's what we focus on and what we teach and what we're going to cover in our LinkTank uh, coaching program that we're putting out. That's going to be affordable for everybody. We're not going to make it some crazy price, boxing out everybody. We want everyone to win, because when everyone wins, we win. We'll get to that later in the show. But the point I'm sharing is that there's a lot of fundamentals that come together, because you're in, what they call it? You're in the kingpin seat, meaning that, you really can get as much business as you want if you just spend the time on your post, the engagement on your posts, who's checking you out. Like you said, you can get 5 really good conversations from who's checking you out. That's the first part of what we're covering today. This is really a great session because this is big time stuff. Who's checking you out? There, I have developed something called the octopus strategy, which is 6 different places to go to find who's checking you out. So that's awesome. And what I love about Don's philosophy is that, he basically says it straight up. He's like, look, this is what we have in common. And I saw you checking, me out. What can I help you with? Do you need help with? Can I be of service? Is there an opportunity for you to, grow your LinkedIn and you want to jump on a Zoom and talk about it? So it's a direct link from putting in the work, earning the reputation, the respect, and then just starting a natural conversation from who's checking you out.
No, and I think that's so important. And if you add one more element to it, is how much proof of yourself do you need to show? Right? So if you're already there, if you already know what the goods are that the person is ready for, right? Why not just get right to it versus, hey, I'll send you a PDF of this. I did a great article here. I got a great training here. It's like, yeah, I know who you are. I know what you do. What do you got? And here's the people like people to be real, and if who you are is what you are, then that's who you got to be, right? Everything else is confusion and conflict. So what I advise everybody to do is go into LinkedIn like a kid in a candy store, right? You don't know what to choose. You want it all. It all looks good. Discipline and focus and achievement, right? Conclusion, resolution. So many people start, it's like 100 people are starting these puzzles and they never finish any of them. If they just focus on one, maybe they could figure it out. So what I'm advocating is there's value everywhere. You just have to look for it. It's like digging for gold. But once you know how to find it, it's a matter how much do you want and what do you want to do with it? It's not a matter of can you get it. You know, people are like, hey, they set up a call with me. So what? Who are they? They picked you. What does that make you? Waiting in line? You know, when you could go out and start picking people. Isn't it fun if I told you anybody you found on LinkedIn who looked at your profile? Because at the end of the day, how many profiles do you look at every day? I guarantee it's not many that you go out and search people. Well, if someone took the time, maybe out of 5 people who do it, right, and who don't even post, it means they know who you are when you call them or when you set up something. And when you thank them, it's respect in itself. Thanks for viewing my profile. I'm glad there was something of interest. I'd love to take the time and get to know you better and share some insights. I mean, just something like that. You plant the seeds. I think a lot of people try to do too much too soon with too little and get disappointed too easily and then give up. That's like a 6-step in and out, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well,
what
I mean
makes
that. Yeah, but that is, it's not their fault because a lot of people are getting old and bad advice. There's a lot of
they don't
gurus,
know. Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of gurus saying, "Oh, do this and do that and do this and do that," with really no track record, or they're selling training that's a year or two old. I mean, there's a million things. There's no barrier to entry to be a guru. So, a lot of times it's the person with the loudest mouth is, trying to give out the most information, which is the worst information because either they haven't done it and they're just trying to sell shit, or they might have done it and it's old shit. And the reality is that this, even this menu that we just pulled up on LinkedIn of who viewed your profile, like from 2 weeks ago to today, that changed. So every time we're doing our weekly meetings and I'm sharing a screen, you're sharing a screen, I'm like, oh no, I look like a jackass because here I should be the resident expert because I'm living inside of LinkedIn, but I haven't pulled up this in a week and it changed. So how is
Mm-hmm.
the training from a year ago going to, really be of high value? It's so it, people do struggle. 99.9% of the people on LinkedIn are not successful, but I would make the case that for the vast majority of them, it's not their fault. Number one, for for the action takers, I would say almost 100% of them, it's not their fault until you find people that can actually give you and show you and provide you a step by step of what's working the way. And then the other part of the group are the people that will listen to you and I or anybody else, but they'll take no action. So those, I don't want to point fingers, but it's a little bit your fault because if you want the success, then it's like the movie The Secret. My former business partner John Asseroff, he has a company NeuroGym. We started building that company together in his backyard, and he did his segment for the movie The Secret, and he gave us I think it was a DVD because I was in. Actually, it was before that. It was 2008 when I moved to build a company with him. It was before that when I was actually in. I was paid. I was paid to be in his mastermind group. I think it was like 15 or 18 grand a year, and he showed us the DVD. No one expected that to sell even one copy. But the book and the movie The Secret, it was the fastest book ever to 1 million sales. And the property both combined did over $1 billion in revenues. And it was great. There were a lot of principles that were very, very strong principles in there. But what they left out, it was a lot of, mindset. If you think it, it will happen. But they left out the do.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't sit there and think, and all of a sudden something's going to happen. John's famous for vision boards, and you know, all those people that were in the movie were very successful, helping people overcome limiting beliefs and things that hold people back. So yeah, you mentally you have to get your game in order. But if you don't like add on the big part of it do,
Mm-hmm.
then nothing is going to happen.
Well, you know
So
that's where things get actuated, and I think the key point that Mike's made is a lot of people tell you what you should do. What we're forming LinkTank and LinkTank membership to be is what we tell you we're going to work with you together on. So it's not like, here, go get them, Tiger. Tell me how it worked out. It's like, no, everybody's on the same journey together and sharing the latest, greatest information everybody is picking up together. And collectively, the knowledge share and the community and the support and the networking is phenomenal. And the reason where we're going to really almost give it away is because LinkedIn gives it to us for nothing, right? So we're leveraging off of them, and all we're doing is integrating it so that people coming in and people who are in can get clarity, can get efficiency of their time, and get strategies that work and work today when you do them. It's not throw it in the mail and hope something comes back. And I think that's why this is going to be such a great place to be an early adopter, because you're going to be right with me and Mike, right? The first two people to come in are going to be 2 of 4. And all that attention, all that exposure, and hopefully all that gratitude for support will continue to mushroom. So, this is just one of many things. I think the key element to take away is that what me and Mike are doing works. It's proven. It can be transferred. It can be leveraged and duplicated, but you have to commit to it. That's the only thing we can't do for you, is press the button that says go.
Yes.
Right. And if you can do that and we can help you do that, we're going to do more than all the knowledge in the world that never gets applied. So,
yes.
That's where it gets distilled.
Yeah. So once again, we went so deep on who's checking you. It's 2:34. I actually have a meeting, and one of our clients is like, "Are you coming on the meeting?" I'm like, "You should be checking me on LinkedIn Live right now." And but I guess he's not checking us out on LinkedIn Live. So, but the point that I always really share, it's called, from backward course design, from curriculum design, instructional design, is every module should focus on one major outcome. Even though we mentioned 2 things today, which is who checking you and you're checking them, we went really deep on who's checking you. And then on Tuesday, we're going to go into, all right, we're checking them. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to do a screen share, and we'll break it down. And also on Tuesday, Don and I will be announcing the program, the official program on Tuesday.
Big day, don't miss it.
Big day, don't miss it. So I appreciate everyone. Appreciate you, Don. I appreciate everyone that's, it's a show. So thanks for showing up to the show. It's gaining traction, which is exciting. And we're here to, provide you with one takeaway you can use right away, which we did today, and let us know how it goes.
Well, thank you, Mike. It's always a pleasure, and it's an honor to spend time and share knowledge together. And I want everybody out there, have a safe weekend, and visit us Tuesday. Big announcement. Tell your friends. It's something you don't want to miss. So anyways, thanks again, and we'll talk on Tuesday. And feel free to reach out to either one of us for anything. We're always open. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you.
Bye for now.